works.
What's up, my brother?
What's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just got to my studio. I feel like a grandpa, man. But yeah, we made it.
So you went to the studio?
Yeah, I'm in the studio actually. I'm not at home.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
I got from a job, so I figured I might as well just pop by the studio instead of going home.
All right, awesome, awesome.
You're also in the studio. It looks like you're in the studio.
Yeah, this is the showroom of my shop.
Okay.
My shop.
I'm actually. Your name is Robert, right?
Yep, Robert Rising.
Rising. Okay. So let's rise, man. Let's rise.
Yes, please, please. All right, so give us your name, tell us where you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, I'm Kim. I'm from Sweden. I'm currently in Sweden, Malmö, city of Malmö, down south, close to Denmark.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Malmö, but it's close to Denmark. I'm pretty sure you know where Denmark is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm painting and I'm an artist. So.
All right, cool. So how's your day been so far? Is midnight there for you? And again, thank you. So
yeah,
what'd you do today?
Midnight. We just passed midnight. My day. I took care of my daughter this morning. Then I went to this youth center called Hela Malmö. Like it's called Hela Malmö. It's basically a grassroots organization that focusing on building like a solid foundation for youth in a neighborhood called Nydala.
Okay.
Basically, like now it's a little bit special times because they can't really like they need to keep the social distancing, right? But usually they would serve breakfast every morning. They would have tutoring, and also in the evenings they have like a classic, like hangout for kids in the neighborhood. They can like play pingis. They have like a huge dance academy called.
Okay, cool. Now, this is for inner city kids.
Yeah, but more on the outskirts of Malmö, more like So it's not like the inner city. It's more like I mean, in New York, you would call it the projects, right?
Yes, that's what I meant. Underprivileged.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much like that. Okay. So my role there is basically to decorate the place, and
so you go in and put you go in and put art in.
Yeah, because I've already put quite some art in there actually, but the youth they constantly want to have new things, like they get bored. So Nico, he's called like the sort of the head of the place. He get requests like, oh, can we do this and this, and so then I go in and I paint something, right? So. Right now we're painting the ceiling actually. So
wow.
Instead of just having a white fucking ceiling, we're giving them like a sky instead, because it's actually in the basement. So it's like even in the basement you can reach the sky. So we're rising, right? We're rising, Robert.
Exactly.
So yeah, we'll try to make them rise, man.
That's beautiful. It's a good thing.
I'm new in this area, so I'm thankful to. I through a friend actually on the internet. He recommended me to get in contact with Nico, and through that we had a vibe within a few minutes, and and we've been friends, and we keep on trying to do projects together.
All right, cool.
They've been going on for like 10 years, but I've only been here for about 2 years. So I'm quite new to this city.
So you're new to the city you're in?
Yeah, I moved to the city for almost 3 years ago.
So where were you before?
I was in Amsterdam.
Ah, okay. But you know what? We're going to hold up. We're going to get to that. We're going to hold up. I have a series of questions I'm going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and after the questions, then we can get into your story, your journey.
All
right. Do you have an overused phrase or word?
An overused phrase of words?
Phrase or word. Is there like one word or something that you say all the time?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, depend. It depends on what language I would speak, right?
How many
I
languages do
remember
you
that
speak?
I remember because I mean I don't really speak a lot of English, so sorry if my English is a bit broken, but I used to say man a lot. Oh man, man, come on man, oh man. Like in English, that would be my like my most used word, I think. Hey man, what's up? I would even tell girls that, like, hey man.
Yes, exactly. No, right.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just an expression.
Yeah, exactly. So
So,
man would be like, yeah, what's up, man? Oh man, oh man, man. So that would be a very common word, I would say.
how many languages do you speak?
I only speak two:
English and
English and Swedish.
got it.
Very, very broken Spanish. So I wouldn't even point that out. Oh, I did. Sorry. Yeah.
Um, what is your least favorite thing to do?
Uh, Man, there's nothing I don't really like to do. That's very difficult to. Sometimes I think I don't like to wait, but then I realize when I'm waiting, um, you sort of get your time to the extra time to think and let your brain processing things, and then all of a sudden you have like a new idea just because you got to wait.
Because you were patient.
I used to hate to wait as a kid because my parents, they would always be late at daycare, school, whatever. So me and my sister, we were always like the last kids at school, so we had to sit there and wait. But I realized like it's pretty nice to wait. But when you ask me, I don't like to wait. But when I wait, I like to wait.
All right, cool. What is your most favorite thing to do?
Oh, that would definitely be to have a good time, man.
All right.
Very vague, but yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, I like to paint, obviously. Um, I think that's. I would say this is also a vague answer, but when I'm like sort of in a moment of just now, it can happen of like having a good time or painting or skateboarding. I really like that moment, when your head doesn't have a lot of clouds. It's not clouded. It's just like a bright blue sky. I really
Yeah,
like that moment. Yeah.
I'm with you. All right. What is the one thing you would change about your spouse or significant other?
Change about my.
Your spouse or your significant other?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's difficult to focus on the positive things, you know?
Well, I mean, it could be great and you change nothing.
Right.
It's all
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't change too much, man.
Okay. All right. What motivates you?
Hmm. Curiosity to find something new,
Okay.
like to find something. It can be in a picture, it can be like about myself, it can be about someone else, but it's really nice when you find something new or you find out something new that you didn't know.
Okay. What irks you the most?
Hurts me.
No, irks you, like bothers you, gets on your nerves.
Mm. Uh, I mean, obviously, injustice. I don't like when I don't like like I don't take for granted. Like if I'm nice, I don't take for granted that people will be nice. But I really don't like when people don't show respect, when they don't acknowledge you, they don't look at you, or I don't like that.
Okay. What sound makes you happiest?
Hmm. Sound from the heart. So
Okay.
it could be reggae music. It's kind of comes from the heart.
All right. What sound bothers you?
Hmm. I don't like it. Yeah, okay. There we go again, like waiting. I always tend to forget, like during summers, I forget about one sound that I'm extremely annoyed about, and that's when a fly is trapped in a studio, probably my studio where I'm sitting and drawing, trying to focus, and there's a fly that I can catch, and it keeps on like just flying around and making this fucking annoying sound. I really hate that sound, man.
All right. What is your favorite curse word?
Helvete jävla skit.
What is that? What does that mean?
If I would translate it, like, if I would really translate it, it would be hell, fuck, shit. Yeah, hell, fuck, shit.
All of those.
Yeah, it would be, but it would probably be like more like, motherfucking something like this. I don't really know.
All right. What profession other than your own would you like to try?
You know, I would like to be a bartender or something like this. Something that's very social, that would drain my social part of myself. I think I would get bored after a while, but it would be really fun to try out to be like, to have a job that where you can like sort of step in to be another part of, like, another Kim who's always social. You know, I'm not always social, but that kind of work field requires you to be social, and I think you could tap into a sort of another persona of yourself, like more like, hey, like when you're playing with kids, you're like, hey. So,
yeah, you know, I was a bartender for 18 years.
Oh shit! So you know all about it.
It was like that, and you know, most people don't get. It's exactly how you described. When I went into work, I turned it on, and when I left work, I turned it off.
All right.
Because it's hard to stay on all day. And when it was my time, I didn't really socialize much. So I get that. All right. So last question.
All right.
What would you want on your tombstone?
Oh, that's crazy. I mean, you know, it would be beautiful to be, because I would not have a tombstone stone. Like, I would just be like burned and thrown in the ocean or something like that. But you know, it would be cool with those like family graves, if I would really have to have one. I said like, if I die early, I would like to, the little money I have left, I would like to make a sort of installation out of my body, and perhaps that would be my stone.
And do what with it?
Say again?
And do what with it?
Maybe I would hang myself in some, I don't know, it would look like I'm levitating in the sky. I don't really know. Maybe like you would cut myself up, and you would have like a brain coming out of my head. I don't know. But something really obscure, something really crazy. You know, cool. Have you seen Star Wars?
The first one, yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, you know, like when he, you know, I'm not an expert on this, but you know, when he's like, when they're sort of melting him, or they put some sort of metal over. He's called Solo, right? And then he's like they pour some sort of some metal over him, and he's like,
yes, cast.
Yeah, they cast some sort of, I don't know, probably some outer space metal on him. So maybe it would be cool to cast me, right?
Yeah, he said frozen in carbonite.
Yeah, Micah would know. Micah is the smartest man I know, man. He's from New York, actually. He lives in Dumbo somewhere. I don't remember the street, but Micah is the cool man. Actually, I used to live in New York as well. So
really?
Micah was one of my first friends over there. We used to work together. He has the most softest couch in the whole world. Right.
All right. Okay, so now let's start with your journey.
Oh! I thought that was your last question. I thought we were done with this.
Yeah, we're done with those questions.
Okay.
Right? So the journey is after you left high school or whatever the equivalent is, the different jobs you've had and everything that has contributed to you being the artist that you are, and the influence that you've had, the trials and tribulations, everything that's come along with that.
Mm. Okay, so what comes up, I obviously I could have many different answers, right? But my first thing that pops up is that I used to work I used to make floors for a summer, so it was like industrial work.
Okay, so how old were you then?
I was 18.
Okay,
I
so
was
18 you were...
16, 17, and 18. So every summer I would do that. And then I was also offered to continue after my graduation, right? I could continue doing that.
So, okay, were you into art then?
Yeah, I've always pretty much been into art. I would never call it art, but I always like to make things.
Okay, were you into painting, to be specific?
Yeah, not really painting, no. More like drawing and making small sculptures. That was my thing as a kid.
Okay, so how long did you do floors?
So first it was a summer job for two summers, right?
Right.
And my last summer, I was so fed up with all the people there. Sorry if probably no one is gonna be looking at this, but they were basically draining my soul. They were very negative, and they sort of I don't want to call it bullying me, but they were making a little bit fun of me and things like this. And some of them had been working there for 30 years, and they said, "Oh, you're gonna be working here for 30 years as well. It sucks." So, fuck. How can you have it work for 30 years and hate it? That's fucked up. Like, how can you turn your life into misery? Like, oh. So I realized this is the last thing I'm gonna be doing. I'm not gonna be doing something I don't like to do. But I really had no clue what I was gonna do, right? So, but in high school, I used to animate a lot. Like I used an application called Flash, which allows you to make small animations, usually like sort of cartoonish animations. But you can also do like animate. You can basically animate anything, but not really footage, more like graphical elements, right? And I also knew that I liked graphics and I liked to draw. So there was a school called Hyper Island that I applied for. I never thought I would get in. My mother pretty much forced me. She's also an artist, so she obviously influenced me a lot.
So okay, so what kind of artist is your mother?
She's painting and making sculptures. She's also making a lot of enamels, like melting glass on copper and metal. So yeah, she's always been like, not really pushing me, but she's been a big.
So is she on IG?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, sorry, her name is Susanne Demåne. Shout out to Susanne Demåne. Shout out to my mother. Yeah, she's a really strong woman, and she's always had a really strong will of making it as an artist. And I've seen her struggles, I've seen her failures. So now when I'm saying this, I imagine I would probably not be sitting here without like constantly studying her. I guess.
Okay, so
that makes any sense.
Yeah. All right. So when you left the floor place, then what?
Oh yeah. So yeah, like I said, like
I'm gonna try to keep you on path.
Yeah. So I was drifting away for a bit. Yeah. So my mother said like, so if you don't get into the school, you have to continue working at the factory. I was like, oh my God. And I had 1 week left for the application, and she said, well, she's quite skeptic, so you're never going to make that. Good luck. But I was like working on this day and night, and she didn't know that I could animate. That was the thing, like, because it was in school, right? So I never really thought of it as a thing. It was just like something in school that I got to learn, that I really, really enjoy doing. I would even sit like during breaks. I would animate, try this application, and like really trying to try to understand this program called Flash. So then when I applied, it was a natural thing to do like an animation, right? That was what I was up to at this point. So when she saw it, she was like, "What? You can animate? If you can't enter the school with this, well, the school is nothing for you." And yeah, I got into the school, and the school is actually more. It's not about art. It's more like, okay, it's called digital media. It's called.
Okay.
So you can do pretty much anything in digital form, right? So, but it's learning by doing. So we didn't really have any teachers. We just we just worked in groups and had to like sort of figure projects out together. Most people in this school, they go to advertising, and so did I. So that's how I first time. See, now I got caught in the comments. Yeah, but yeah, that was my first real job.
Okay, wait a second. How long were you in school?
For about almost 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, most people they go to advertisement, right? So digital advertisements, and yeah, so did I. That's how I got. That's how I got to know Micah in Dumbo. So I after like about one and a half year, I moved to New York from a little city called Ronneby. Well, we were studying in Karlskrona, but I moved to New York in 2007. Yeah.
So you work for a digital advertising agency here in New York?
Yeah, called Demåne Studios. It's have you ever been to Dumbo, downtown Brooklyn?
Yep.
Okay, so then you would know 45 Main Street, next to like the big bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they shot a few scenes from King of New York there as well. Like when like Lawrence Fishburne is down there doing something. I don't know. He's maybe shot someone. I don't know. But yeah. So I was there for 1.5 years, almost 2 years.
Okay, so you still hadn't gotten into the graffiti urban art yet?
No, not really. I would say I did like stickers, but I was more into sort of figuring out what I was gonna do. I was 18 at this time. I was 19 when I moved there, so I didn't really figure out how.
Wait a second. So you went to school for 2 years, and then you got out, and you were still 19?
No. This was an internship, so I got an internship through the school.
Okay, you were in New York for 1.5 years.
Yeah, exactly. But then it got extended. I extended my internship, and I lived there doing some freelance for some time. I'm not supposed to say this because it's like, yeah, taxes and all this. But yeah, I survived there for some time. But yeah, but I didn't really like the thing is like when you work with advertisements, like I think I'm gonna say a lot of those kids who start in advertisement, they are very creative, and they at first, I'm pretty sure they don't really, not everyone know how they're gonna use their creativity, right?
Right.
All of them, they're so fucking creative, and some of them are just like big fucking geniuses. So I learned a lot from all these people that I worked with, right? That's like the beauty of advertisement or like working in production companies, that you get to learn a lot continue learning by doing, because it's very difficult to learn just by yourself. But if you sit next, on your each of like on your left hand shoulder, your right hand shoulder, you have two people who knows more than you will learn a lot.
Yeah, if you're paying attention, absolutely.
Huh?
I said, if you're paying attention, absolutely.
Right. So I learned a lot uh, from working in advertisement. But at the same time, like you were asking about art, at the same time, I had like unconsciously, I had a dream to become an artist. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to become like your parents. At least I didn't want to. You know, I saw all the struggles. I saw how difficult it is to be an artist, and I was like, man, I want to have like a comfortable life. And being an artist is not very comfortable, you know, because you always have to be chasing. My friend Bafu Kafu, he says like, I can chase the day. I let the day come to me. But for me, it's still like I have to chase the night, man. I have to chase the day. I have to chase the morning. I feel like sometimes.
Right. So
Yeah.
you in New York for how long?
2008 and 9, and I left 2010, I think 2009 or something like this.
Okay, so
About
2010
almost
you
2
leave
years.
New York and you go where?
Say again.
2010 you leave New York and you go where?
I went to Amsterdam.
Okay, so what did you do in Amsterdam?
I did the same thing. I worked in production companies, so doing digital graphics and animations.
How long were you in Amsterdam? Until 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was there on and off, but I was there until 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
I also
now,
went.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I left Amsterdam for about a year to go to Spain. That's how I got like my bad Spanish, right? So.
What part of Spain?
Barcelona.
All right, I've been there. So when did you pick up the spray can?
First time I picked up a spray can, it was my mother who gave me a spray can. I was gonna paint my skateboard ramp. That really didn't work. I didn't really know how a skateboard ramp was supposed to look like, so I put like a few rocks, and I put like a piece of wood, and I tried to. Now I know it was supposed to be a bank, right? But every time I would roll up with my skateboard, the rocks
Move.
would move, and so would the piece of wood, and I was really pissed off. But I think it looked cool, so I was like, man, I want to paint this. And my mother was like, quick, oh, I can buy you a spray can. I said, oh, but then I tried, and it was dripping. Maybe I was like about 7 years or something. Like I didn't even skate. I just had like this sort of really shitty skateboard that you could barely, you could barely roll on it. Later on, I somehow I think I bought a skateboard from a friend's older brother, which was be like a more legit skateboard that you could actually roll with. But it was really it was too difficult with a spray can at the age of like so young, and I didn't really have any patience. So I would just get really pissed off and thought, this is impossible. Mom, help me. And she said, I don't know nothing about this. So then I dropped the spray can, and next time I tried a spray can, it was 2009 or something like this.
So were you in New York or were you in Amsterdam?
No, now I was in Amsterdam.
Okay. So you're in
No,
Amsterdam.
no, I'm lying. I'm sorry. 2010. No, 11, I'm sorry. I'm really bad with the years, right? But so you can talk about I held one. I thought it was a can of beer. I'm not gonna make more stories. The most important story is like when I moved back to New York, to Amsterdam. I met a friend called Greg. So shout out to Drips and Dots on Instagram. But I met this guy, and he's very creative. He loves to skate, and we used to like sort of when I got to know this man or this kid or this guy, like after that was the same thing. Like we caught a vibe right away, and we realized like, man, if we're gonna become friends, it's gonna feel like being kids again, because we're just gonna like play through the city. We're gonna skate, we're gonna paint, and he had been into graffiti during his teenage years, right? I didn't, because I was just drawing, and I was like, I come from a small town, so I didn't really know too much about that. But he would, when it's not fun to go out and paint by yourself. but with Dotsy or Drips and Dots, we became so good friends, and we sort of created a little crew called Omatics together with another friend called Ben. It was like, like friends, and then some other people joined who did music, and so
Okay, so at this time, are you still learning to use a can, or are you good?
definitely. I'm still learning, man. Like spraying with a spray can, it's like an instrument. I see. Like I wish that I would be a musician. I would love to play instruments, but a spray can is the closest like to trumpets, because it's like really. It depends on how hard your pressure is, your focus, your mood, everything. It's very sensitive. The nozzle in the spray can is very sensitive. So every time I pick up the spray can, I learn something new, or I tune my skills. So ever since like 2012 or 13, maybe it's 13, since I met Greg, it really kicked on, and I sort of found the fun part of spraying on a wall. It's together with someone, because like I've seen my mother like battling a canvas in her studio, right? There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of like, oh, what? Go out! I need to focus. All this kind of bullshit that is like. So yeah, I really get it. Like you're fighting with your inner demons, and you're trying to sort of make a masterpiece within a frame. But if you ever like if you pick up a spray can and you paint like in a public space, there's no time for that. Like your time is limited, and you also know that someone might go over your piece, or even it can be buffed, or the building can be destroyed, or whatever. There's a sort of beauty that your piece of art will be ruined. Uh, but in a frame, maybe a big museum will buy my piece of art. So then there's a lot of I think there's a lot of pressure in sitting in your studio alone for like weeks and making a painting on a canvas, instead of just going out for a few hours with your friends, and you might even make a collaboration together. So the sort of the community feeling, or the togetherness with spray cans and that kind of culture, I vibed to right away, and I was like, wow, I could become an artist. It's like for me, sitting alone and not be connected to no one. I don't really vibe to that, man. But to like to be able to hey man, what are you doing today? Okay, are you free? Oh, let's go out and paint somewhere. It's the same thing as skating, really. Hey man, do you want to go out and skate? Yeah. So it's a sort of the same sort of culture, like those kind of like I really love skate culture. So I could sort of like I think that's how I could vibe to this whole the whole sort of way of painting together. Uh, you know,
So
you
when,
fight
when
your
you
sport and
when you had a crew, did did different people have different specialties? Everyone was kind of the same.
no, we were quite me and Greg were quite similar. Like if you can check his work later on. Uh, we're quite similar, and we inspired each other a lot. So if you make a few pieces and productions like every week, you will sort of tend to practice and practice and practice, and sort of also you get deeper and deeper into imagery world, right? So I feel that my artistical world, it grew a lot thanks to like the speed of painting a mural, instead of just like making a painting that could take um, 2 weeks, whatever.
Right.
So
So
we learned a lot from each other. And Ben, he's more like pure. He was pure graffiti, really. So and me and Greg were more like productions and characters, and so I'm basically only like characters and like sort of trying to make a portal into my head. That's basically what I was always aiming to do, like some sort of some sort of portal to world, you know.
At what point did you realize that you all were good and it could be something? What job was it? Do you remember?
Can you say that again? Sorry, I drifted away, man. So.
At what point were you working on a project that you realized that you can make something of this?
It went pretty quick. I mean, it was a transition from like I decided that I had a really like in Amsterdam. So I moved always when I moved to new city. I had a job, right? I just applied for a job. I moved there. That's the beauty of like I guess the field of like the advertisement world. Like you can move around quite a lot. Hey, what's up, Jonas? We have people from Morocco here.
What's up?
You're good.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, he's a good man. So I forgot what I was saying. Damn you, Jonas. Oh yeah. Okay, man. So now we're going a bit deep. Sorry for those who don't like the deepnesses, but basically, after like working, I would say I put a lot of time into my work field, like advertisement, as much as I do in art, right? So I would always be sitting late. I would always be like putting a lot of amount of time into my projects there, even if it was not owned by me, it was owned by the company. But I was very important for me to learn something and to put love into my project. I mean, I can't just leave something. If it's about creating something, I cannot leave something that I don't have my soul in, right?
Right.
But that was sometimes frustrating because when I felt done, I felt done. I put my heart and soul into it, and then the client all of a sudden wanted to change everything. That's like the opposite of art. If you are your own boss, I mean, if you're an artist, I mean, if someone would tell you, hey, I want to buy this painting, but I don't like the pink in it. Can you make it blue? I would be like, hey man, fuck you. That was like my dream to like, man, if I could only like, if I could be my own boss over my pictures, that would be amazing. But at the same time, like working in advertisement, you learn a lot. Like over the couple of years when I've not been working in advertisement, I really miss having my coworkers that could teach me so much. I could teach them back, but I really miss that part actually. Like, because usually I would always have a lot of coworkers who was much better than me than what I was doing, and now I'm just by myself, and I'm sort of getting more narrowed because I'm doing my own style. No one can teach me about my own style. But anyhow, I got it. I moved from Barcelona. I moved back to Amsterdam again, and then I was like, I'm gonna get a job where I get a bit more paid. I'm gonna use my qualities and my CV and sort of get a higher position, like more like an art director, because they would obviously make more money than a designer. So I got that job, and I didn't really like the work they were doing. Sorry, man, I didn't like the people either. Because all the jobs I had before, my main focus was to pick a studio that I could learn a lot. I would have the best fucking coworkers in the world. All like it was so close to be an independent artist. The only difference was that you had clients that would, in the end, decide how the project was going to look like. But all the places that I worked at up till now, they were fantastic. The boss were amazing. Everything, like I really loved that time. Gotta be honest. But when I got when I changed my focus and thought about the money, everything got twisted, man. And
always.
But I'm so happy it happened, because if I would not pick that fucked up job, I would never. I would maybe stay comfortable and continue making those stay in the advertisement field and, sort of be creative, be happy, have good coworkers, learn a lot within this industry. And just because, like, it's basically, in the end, it's the same. Like, you stay curious, you learn a lot of things. Same as being an artist, really.
How long were you in? How long ago did you leave advertising?
For how long I worked in advertisement?
No, how long ago did you leave it?
See, I'm so bad with numbers and time.
How long have you been working on your own as an artist?
Okay, as in like a freelance without any like contract. I would say 2015.
Okay, all right. So 5 years.
Yeah, or maybe 14 even. No, it must be 14, 13. So,
Okay,
so I have to also say this, the guy that I mentioned before, Greg, he was already freelance artist. So when I had my shitty job, I would be like, I tried to sort of get him into the to the agency so he could be a freelance artist there, so we could do projects together. And we did one, but they fucked him over. They didn't pay him, and in the end, they didn't pay me neither. Because they were really like big fucking assholes. Money making assholes. Had no culture. Had no fucking interest at all in art, design, or whatever. They just wanted to make money on us as well. So, but through that, we became really good friends because we realized, oh wow, it's so fun to. yeah, for all the smoking in Amsterdam. That happens to all of us. Gotta stay on, right?
Okay, wait a second. Did you go to Amsterdam because you can smoke?
No, man. No one does that. No, I had a dream. I wanted to go to Barcelona and to Amsterdam. So when I was in New York, this guy. Okay, so this is really crazy. Like, yeah, fuck money, man. This is really crazy. When I lived in New York and when I was freelancing, I didn't work at the place in Dumbo no longer, right? Where the guy Micah and those guys worked. But I went to the Christmas party. And at the Christmas party, there was a new intern, right? Someone took my spot. And then the guy's name, he was called Greg. He was also from Sweden. And I said, well, oh shit, you took my spot. No, not really, not like that. But we like I said before, we already caught a vibe at this Christmas party. And he told me, oh shit, if you wanna move to Amsterdam, you should really hook up with my friend Fred. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I tried to find some work in Amsterdam. Moved back to Sweden for a couple of weeks, or maybe even 2 months or something like that. I was really looking for a job, and I found two interviews, and at the place where I didn't get the job, this guy Fred worked. So Greg's friend Fred worked at the place where I didn't get a job, but I got a job at the other place. And by mistake, I bought a ticket to Amsterdam the next week. So basically, I had an interview on the 1st, but by mistake I bought a ticket the 11th instead. So fuck, and I didn't have much money, so can I borrow money for a ticket? I asked my mom. I said, are you crazy? Okay, so I went down there anyway with 2 tickets, and I got one of the jobs, and they said, when can you start? Oh, what about on Monday? And it was Friday. And I said, okay, yeah, sure, if you want to start so early. I'm like, yeah, I already have a ticket back. So I moved back. I got in contact with Fred. We lived there for about a year together, and then Greg moved to Amsterdam from New York. And then I finally got to, hang out with him and skate with him and paint. So cool. Maybe this was a little bit confusing, but I'm very aware of every step in my life, of the people I met and the people who inspired me, and the steps I've taken in order to believe in myself. And because to become an artist and to be independent is really about believing in yourself. And I've heard it so many times, and it's quite cheesy. But if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is gonna believe in you, and that is
You're absolutely right.
those people we admire. They believe in themselves so fucking much that perhaps they're even assholes. But I don't think so, because no one want to work with an asshole, right?
Right.
But really, like, the big fucking struggle is to really believe in myself. That's been my biggest struggle of all. So it was easier to work in advertisement because then I didn't have to. I still have to believe in myself. I have to have some courage to, to dare to try things. But still, it's a whole nother level to become an artist and to really like to go out there and believe in your work, man. Like that's and also in this fucking world, like it's everything is so expensive, and so yeah.
Okay, so we have 10 minutes left. Can we get a tour of your shop?
Oh, yeah. Wow, I've been.
No, can we look at your studio? Get a tour of your
Oh
studio.
yeah, for sure. Sorry, I keep on drifting. I don't know why. Okay, so can I flip this? Maybe it's easier if I flip, right?
Yep.
Okay, we flip. Okay, I didn't make this carpet. Oh, here's a piece.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, I'm gonna put my phone in my mouth, right? Wait, we'll do this. All right. Oh, okay. Here's one piece. No, this is not my living room, man. Hey, man, you seem like a cool guy. The ex-cousin. Okay, so this is one piece, right?
That's a lot of detail.
Yeah, man, I love the details. Hey, big up yourself, Joel. Yeah, man, there's a lot of details. Oh, shit, it makes sounds too. I'm gonna fuck up this society. All I care about is money. Yeah. And all of the citizens are stuck in the same fucking club, tranquilized to revolt against this fucked up law. And I want to be free, man. No, you.
How long did that take?
You gotta follow the law, Robert. Follow the law.
I have a problem with that.
Well, then you're gonna fix your fucking problem, man. So, yeah, sorry, man. I've become a little bit crazy. Yeah, so like.
How long did that one take?
There's a lot of good laws out there, but when it comes to sort of tighten your freedom, I think it's fucked up, man, to have laws that sort of minimize people. Yeah. What the fuck is that? Yeah.
Okay, so let's see another piece. How long did that one take to paint?
Difficult to say, but a couple of days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so first it's a drawing, and then I scan it, and then I color it in my computer, and then I print it, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I will show you some. I can show you some originals also. Yeah, and here's another one. Robert. Oh, that looks like me almost. No. This could be you, Robert. No, I'm not gonna be. I think this. Let's see. Who are you here? This could. Seems like you have a pretty bright brain.
How did you come up with that name? Where'd you get that name from?
What name?
Delicious Brains.
Delicious Brains. Hey, I made a sticker in 2009.
You right, Gripwood Gray. He must be smoking.
Someone said that. Oh, hell no, man.
He said you wilding. I see. He must be smoking.
Yeah, I'm always wilding. Yeah, true. Did I just say I was not smoking? Oh, I'm full of lies. So now I got lost again. Tell me. Oh, the delicious brains. Yeah, like 2009, I made a sticker with the name Delicious Brains on it. So I used to make a lot of. I forgot to say this, but I used to make a lot of before spray painting. I used to make a lot of paste ups, right? So paste ups is another form of street art. You either print on paper, you draw on paper, and then you use like wheat paste, and you go out and you sort of you glue it on walls, right? I did this for a couple of like from 2009 to until I really like decided to use a spray can instead. And that was probably like that was for a couple of years. So really, the delicious brains comes from sort of this concept, like a religious theme of believing in my own brain. So it helped me a lot to sort of leave the digital, like the advertisement world, and believe in my art. But at the same time, like I did this when I was working in advertisement, so I always felt my brain was pressed. Like someone put a coin in my mind and it's like, hey, we want to buy your ideas and your creativity, and if I put money in your one ear, maybe we can get something out of your ass. No, no. but no, but you know what I'm saying, right? So basically, like this was a sort of I thought like one time, I mean, okay, sometimes we really feel ourselves, right? So, oh, maybe with these images, people will believe I'm Jesus. Like, oh, maybe people will find a new religion through my art. That would be amazing. And the whole world will become much a better place.
That is nice.
So I was like, I got a lot of inspiration from religious paintings, because it's like, fuck man, I really don't like sort of the history of religion, right? But like one love and to treat each other the same way as you want to be treated, that's fantastic. That's how it should be. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't use this. I almost call it algorithm, but I almost don't use this like way of living, right? But the imagery, like all these masters who made these images, they really knew their stuff. So I've always found myself very inspired by like old Renaissance paintings. So I've been studying them a lot, but I always study them and then I try to change them, right? So I like sort of the composition, how it's sort of an endless composition. You can look and look and look and you find something, and yeah.
All right, show us some more.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. I showed you this. Here's another one. It's the same series. It's when I'm walking my dog. The weird dog. Oh no! You got the biggest ball in the world.
So how do people find you for work?
I don't know, man. It's a magical thing. It's a magical thing. So I believe in like the theory of in Swedish we call it ringa på vatten. So rings on the water. That's very strange. But like it's basically like I always think like if you put out good energy there and you always make your best, somehow it's gonna come back to you. Like even like I had no idea who you were, Robert. I didn't know how you look like or anything. You just called me brother. It's like, oh, maybe he's a brother. So then see you're a brother. So and I thought perhaps this will lead to something, perhaps not. But at the same time, when we talk, I learned something about myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Ringar på vattnet, säger extasen. Yeah.
So we have 60 seconds.
60 seconds. Okay, then we're gonna go through some drawings, right? Wow, you're really on a tight schedule.
No, Instagram is gonna block us off.
Oh shit! Damn you.
Okay, so look, wait. Look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get off. We're gonna get back on, and then you can go through that.
Well, we can also just call it call it a call.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we can do
we
that
talked
too.
quite a lot, you know, hear my voice,
Yeah.
and I think, like, you know, like, I just do this. But this is like my original drawing, so, like,
Okay. Beautiful.
it's with ink. Yeah, stress. Okay, man. But so I really don't know nothing about you, Robert. It's kind of sad. Maybe we can chat via text or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
After this.
All right. So it's going to end now.
All right,
All
man.
right.